Nice to meet you.
Come in.
Thank you.
It was when I discovered a ring, a French Renaissance enamel ring at the V&A, which was pivotal. And that is when Cece Jewelry was born. I've always been painting as a child. Creativity's in my soul. And I thought history of art was my root, but in a way, I've come back to that because I like to say that my rings are canvases made of 18 karat gold instead of paper.
Okay.
And, you know, instead of paint, I'm using enamel, which is essentially paint, but glass. So I've sort of done a bit of a 360.
Do you remember, without thinking too hard, who, when you studied art history, were the ones that really filled you up?
You know what? I wrote my dissertation on Rothko. I don't think it was a very good dissertation, but I was very inspired when I did all the research. And I just love symbolism in paintings and stories, and that's what I do the best, I'd like to say, in miniature. And that's why our customers love coming to us, you know, to tell a story through jewellery.
So in that way, I'm jumping ahead, but does that mean people come and they can make creations with you?
Oh my God, yeah. So much.
And these are things that you've created yourself that can be bought as they are?
So we have our sort of ready to wear, essentially.
Yes.
And we produce 2 collections a year, each inspired by different things, which I sort of build a story around.
2 collections a year.
And then we have our bespoke.
How big are the 2 collections?
They're getting bigger and bigger.
I bet.
They started with, you know, like 5 pieces, and now we're sort of launching on with 20 pieces.
Wow.
But I like to make sure that it's just right. I like to say that building a ring is like building a house. You have your plumber and your electrician and your carpenter and your joiner. Here you have your stone setter, your enameller, your goldsmith. It passes through so many hands to get to the finished result.
What was the very first piece you made?
The very first piece I made was the snake and moon ring, which actually isn't here, he's around, alongside the clam and pearl, which is actually one of our best sellers at Liberty's and is still one of our best sellers, which I'm so happy about.
This was one of the very, very first?
Yes, I made 4 designs and launched with only 4 designs.
So, and started after having done 1 ring making course?
I went on to study a year's jewellery making in Hatton Garden after, and then I worked in a jewellery workshop for years. I was not very good at making jewellery. My strength lies in design.
Okay.
And then after discovering this ring at the V&A, years later, I didn't realise how beautiful enamel really was, and I just was so inspired by it that then I designed 4 rings, including this clam and pearl.
This one.
Which will actually be the design that's in the Liberty window display.
I mean, it's very intricate for an early design.
Yes, it's very whimsical and romantic, which I feel runs through all of the designs.
And all of the good things in life.
Quite.
Yes. So you started with the 4 rings.
Started with 4 designs. And
all the same shape?
All the same shape.
Okay.
I could only afford that size signet ring.
Okay.
And I was told enamel works best on 18 karat, so I literally had no money after that. And those 4 rings are really what started it all. And the first shop to let me through its doors was Liberty.
It was?
Yes, they opened so many doors for me. They took a punt on a small jeweller, and it was honestly pure magic.
And how? Did you just call yourself and say, I've made something, can I show you? Was it just you?
Yeah, it was just me.
Wow.
It was very sweet, and I messaged on Instagram, I messaged Ruby, and she said, let's go for a coffee. Honestly, I could not believe it when I got the email. And my granny used to dress windows at Liberty's in the 60s.
She did?
Yes, and she is my inspiration for absolutely everything, so I feel incredibly lucky that we're going to be in the windows now.
Do you remember your first time there? Do you remember when you were...
Oh my, I was probably a baby. Every time my granny would visit London, we would take a trip to Liberty's. It was like our temple.
And do you remember looking at jewellery?
Oh my god, yeah.
Aww.
It's like a treasure trove. That's why Liberty's is fantastic, because they discover new brands that you've never seen before. It sort of feels magical.
What happened after that first meeting?
I went away very, very nervous. Very excited. And then Ruby placed an order, and honestly it feels like the rest is history.
Of all four? Is it all
Oh yes, she placed an order of the 4 rings and matching pendants.
Oh, so had you made pendants yet?
I was told to make more. Not by Ruby, but just the industry, you know, launching with 4 rings is a very, very small launch.
Right.
And since then, every collection has grown. We have exclusives with Liberty's, which sell fantastically well.
So how long ago was that the first...
About 2 years ago. In the last year, we have grown from just me to now there's a team of 12. And we have departments. We're about to move to a proper office. You know, we have grown very quickly.
A little bit sad too.
Oh,
because your dad's downstairs making toast.
I know,
and that's the greatest.
I know. We're all the girls in the office feel a bit. I think we're going to be quite sad. But my mum and dad are now part of the business, so they will be coming over to us.
In what capacity? What do they do?
My mum designs with me.
Cool.
And my dad is managing director. He's probably listening right now. Going, what's that?
Hi.